Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our Tuesday night cycle training. This is a really great one. This is actually, I love the products, but this is actually what drew me to decide to do the business, was because of the tax savings. Because at that time, I didn't see the bigger picture, but I just knew, you know what, getting a tax break was money back in my pocket. So I'm going to pass this on to Nada to share some great information with us.
You know, I have to say that, when I started doing this business 30 years ago, this is the part of the business that scared me. I was never good with numbers, accounting, that whole record keeping, bookkeeping thing. It scared me but I had to do it, right? I had to do it. And I wanted the tax savings at the end of the year. I knew the importance of it. And I really understood and valued and the importance of it. But I always found myself behind, okay? Because I'm not usually a procrastinator, but when it's something that I'm not that excited to do, it's easy to procrastinate. So I would sometimes put it off, and I'd be 2 or 3 months behind in my bookkeeping, my paperwork, and then I'd have to sit there for hours to get caught up. And back then, we didn't have a computer. You didn't have, phones or apps or anything like that. So everything was done manually. So it was a lot harder. I have to say that I today absolutely love doing my books. I'm up to date as of today. I'm not behind one day. If I am behind, it's maybe 2 weeks. And that to me means a lot. Okay. So I'm going to share with you a simple system, and then I'm going to share with you the system that I've graduated to. And it depends on your accountant and if they're using this kind of system, but more and more accountants are using more tech systems through their phones. So I know Cindy and I are using this system now, and I spend money every month. And I have somebody doing my books every month. And I have to say that it's worth the money, because for me, the time that I'm saving that I can spend on my business is way greater than me sitting there for hours trying to do my bookkeeping. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about what to keep track of, what receipts to keep, and how to record them. Okay. So again, a simple system. Okay. Just your basic system. First of all, I'll never forget my accountant saying, keep all your receipts, okay? Don't throw anything away, anything, okay? You keep your pile and you have it, and it will go somewhere. You might not be able to use it for business, but there's always a chance that you can use a portion of it or percentage of it, okay? So when you come home at the end of the day, empty your wallet, your purse, or your pockets, wherever you keep your receipts when you're out and about, and put it in a basket or put it in a filing cabinet or put it in a folder. Just keep them all together, okay? A shoebox works, right? Anything, a file, anything. And every couple of days, just go through them, and you can put them in categories, but if you do my system, you don't have to put them in categories anymore. So I love this, okay? So, but make sure, and if there's no paper receipts, if you're receiving stuff by electronically through email, especially if you're paying bills online, either I would recommend printing them or creating files in your computer and saving them, okay? So whatever, you're comfortable doing, but I like to have hard copies, files, so that I can go back to those files, okay? So these are the different files that you need to prepare. Product bought. So anything you buy from Neolife, anything, everything, including your product catalogs, including your trigger sprayers, including your literature, anything you buy from Neolife is product that you purchase, okay? When you go to sell product, if you're selling anything from inventory that you've purchased, you need to create a receipt. So product sold. I know there's not as much of this going on because most of our members and our promoters are ordering directly from the company, but I do have the odd customer that likes to purchase from me, like my mom, like my neighbors, some people that are local to me that I like to order by case certain products. So then I will in turn sell some of that inventory to my customers. So you have a product bought file and a product sold file. Now, from that product that you've purchased, some of it you've sold, some of it you've consumed, correct? Okay, and some of it is used for samples, demos, some sales tools. So make sure that when you take, let's say, I took a vegan shake off of my shelf the other day, but I gave some samples. I did some sampling with people. I made a little Ziploc. I gave some away to somebody to try. That whole bag of vegan protein is a write-off. Okay, because I used it to give some samples to someone. Understood? You open up a bottle of vitamin C, you give out a handful to somebody, you've opened that bottle and it is now a write-off. Okay, so just make sure you keep track. So from your product bought, you're going to have product consumed and product that you've given away for samples and demos in sales tools. Okay, so your trigger sprayers is a write-off, your product catalogs are a write-off, your 8-ounce dispenser bottles, your shaker cups, all of that is for advertising. It's all for demo sampling, okay? And some of it could be for supplies for your shake parties or your wellness meetings or evening of champions or gathering of champions, your grand openings, your retreats. For example, we're going we're going to do a wisdom builder retreat at Wen's. So I'm going to make an eggplant lasagna. I'm going to make a soup. I'm going to make a salad. I'm going to put nuts in it. So I'm going to do my grocery shopping. And what I do now is when I grocery shop, I actually do 2 separate receipts. So I'll kind of divvy up my groceries on the thing. I'll say, okay, this is one order and this is another. So I will actually divide coffee, nuts, anything that I use for my meetings, in-home meetings, gatherings. We could do that now, and it was harder when we were in lockdown. But these are things that you can keep track of. You can take your receipt if you don't want to divvy up your order and just circle it on your receipt. But now I'm at a point where I like to have it completely separate. If I forget, I forget. I'll just circle it on the receipt. And we'll go into a little more detail as I go through. But these are just files that you need to have ready and prepared. Okay. Then there's your home expenses, right? Your heating, your hydro, firewood, water, mortgage, rent, your phone, computer line, internet, gas, oil, even your property tax. I'm trying to think if there's anything else in that home department. Your accountant will ask you all kinds of questions and say, hey, what about this? What about this? But these are the main things that you need to keep track of. Okay.
My Zoom account.
Say that again.
My Zoom account.
Yes, that's a business office expense. So cell phone, postage, shipping, long distance plans, conference calls, meeting expenses. Did I not have Zoom here? Oh, I thought I had Zoom somewhere. Hang on. No, I just want to make sure I had Zoom. No, I didn't have Zoom. Yes, Zoom is very, very important. That's a complete write-off. That's a meeting expense. So cell phone, postage, shipping, your bell, your regular bell line is not, but your long distance is. I know it's kind of confusing. So that's why cell phones are the best way to go, because you can write that off as a business expense. Okay. So when you meet somebody for coffee, okay, and you're meeting them for business, it's a meeting expense. If you're just meeting one of your promoters for a get together and a social, it's more like meals and entertainment. So you have to make sure that you know what you're meeting that person for. If you're meeting that person to go over their business, to set some goals, to make a plan for their business for the month, then you can write that coffee off as a business expense, a meeting expense. Okay, so it just depends, I think, on how you word it on your receipt. Okay, so if I go to a restaurant, right, with my family, and it's more of a social thing, but I do talk to the waiter and I'm networking with people, it's still under meals and entertainment, and they will take 50% of that as a write-up. But you just let your accountant know meals and entertainment. If you specifically go, like I went and met with Laura May, we went to a restaurant specifically to do a goal setting and for the year, and I treated her to dinner, I wrote that meal off as a business expense. Okay, so it just depends on how you word the event or the meeting. Okay. Then there's your automobile. So all your automobile expenses, lease, loan, gas, repairs, parking, ETR, car washes. Now the car washes, you can't do the coin because there's no receipt. But now there's a lot of car washes where you can use your Visa and you can ask for an actual receipt. Some people thought that you could just highlight your Visa for paying for a car wash, but if they're not accepting that, you actually have to have a physical receipt. Okay, for car, if you're doing the coin car wash. So this is like this, the hand spray and wash. Okay.
Nada, quick question. What
sure.
is what is ETR?
Oh, in Canada here, we have to pay for your toll roads.
Oh, toll. Okay.
So you would have, it would be called a toll road
Easy.
for you guys. Yeah.
Easy pass. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
you call it Easy Pass and we call it ETR.
Yeah.
So you can make sure you, that's all a write-off as well.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. Now, I write off 90% of my car, okay? So I have to keep track of all my miles and my expenses. So, and in order for me to write off 90% of my car, I need to make sure that I can prove that with my kilometers that I'm in my car 90% of the time for business. Okay, so there's some apps. I know, Violet, you showed me that app on my phone. I'm not good at it yet. I still got to get better at using it. There are different apps that you can use. I know, Cindy, you get in the car and you write your miles down every day when you get in your car, where you're going. And in your day timer, you should have written, or in your phone, on your calendar, you should be writing all your activity. Okay, like in today's calendar, I have tonight's 2 calls at 7. At 8, Thursday's meetings, and these other Zoom meetings through the week that I'm doing are all on my calendar. Okay, you got to show some activity, right? That you're running a business. Because if you go to write all this off and they look at your calendar and there's nothing happening, you haven't done anything, you haven't done any meetings, no presentations, then it looks like you're not being honest. Okay, so you got to make sure that you're recording everything, especially when it comes to writing your car off. So for example, you can't write off the gym, your gym membership, right? So I was going to the gym sometimes 4 to 5 times a week. Okay, but when I did go to the gym, I always brought literature, product catalog, flyers, talk to people. So my commute to the gym, I would write off. Then from the gym, I would either go to Leonie's or meet Rose for coffee, all in Orangeville in my town. So I would include that mileage because I am going to meet Rose on her lunch hour to do a business plan and talk about her goals for the week. Okay, I would drop by Leonie's. I'd pick up a coffee or a tea. We'd go there or meet for coffee. And you have to write down, just make sure that whole trip was intended for business. Okay, so you've got to get really good at recording that, because let me tell you, it's worth it at the end of the year to save all that money. You're giving less to the government, but has to be written, has to be recorded to justify it. Okay, make sense? Another thing are gifts, right? A lot of times, when you buy gifts for your people, for your team, Mansuda, that beautiful a prayer that you gave me, right? When I make my protein balls, that's a gift to people. I write off all the ingredients in that. At Christmas, when I make all my Christmas gifts for my directors, all of that is a write-off. Birthdays, I give gifts to my team on their birthdays. I write that off. On the receipt, I put birthday gift, senior manager, club member, like make sure you specify that they're not just a friend, that they're part of your team and part of your business. Okay, so anything like that, gifty as well, you can write off under gifts. Even product, like all those beautiful specials now for the skincare, you give that away as a gift to a family member or a friend is all a write-off. Okay, you can claim all that as a business expense. Okay.
Nada.
Yes.
So I can buy the gift set and then break it up and give out gifts and I can claim it?
Oh yes, anything you give away is a complete write-off. You buy that gift set, it's a write-off. It's a promotion and for gifts. Yes. And a lot of times I give like Vita Squares away to family, or I'll give like a LDC or Super 10. And Violet, all those beautiful, oh, you have people purchasing those. I'm just trying to think. If you do a
Gift baskets, right? Yeah,
donation, oh, the sample packs that you buy from Neo Life, all
Yeah.
are right. All the sample packs,
oh, okay, wow,
Okay.
okay.
all
Mhm.
of that is a write-off because you're
But-
purchasing that for sampling.
Yeah,
Gift to
the
give-
other thing, Nada, is if you want to know more about Mile IQ, the app that I use, it's very easy. I can go over with you sometime for next year. And we can show it to the team too, yeah.
That would be wonderful. Thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah, it's and actually I get notifications all the time on my laptop because I've got it connected now, but I don't know what to do with it. So yeah, that'd be wonderful if you can do a training with me and then we can do it with our team, maybe early
Yeah.
January. Yeah, maybe at the end of like in December, you and I can get together and learn and teach me the app, and then you and I can do a training in January to the team.
Yeah, sure.
That'd be great. Thank you. It'd be so much easier because I find that writing your miles down every day on a piece of paper, sometimes I forget, and you got to go back and you got to write it in. And, you know, I'm not as good as that as I used to be, especially after being home for a year. And you got to get back into the habit and the routine again, right? So,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Mhm.
Thank you,
Yep.
Violet. Really appreciate
Yep.
that. Awesome. So I also would recommend that you find an accountant that understands direct selling. I've done both, where I've gone to like a Liberty Tax, I've gone to, you know, they're really good accountants, don't get me wrong, but they're more conservative. They're too afraid to look at what you can really do to maximize your write-offs. Okay. Whereas Cindy and I have been using an accountant, and at first we were kind of nervous thinking, is this guy for real? But I tell you, what I loved about our accountant, they're at level 3. If we get audited, they handle the audit. And they will tell you like point blank what you can and can't write off. And there was a couple of things where we were a little, really, you can write that off? They said, Nada, we've been audited and we won every single time. Don't worry, we got your back. So I thought, okay, like if they're willing to, you know, to do that, and they're a huge accounting firm. So I would recommend that you do that. And, you know, just make sure that everything you do in your day, you have a day timer, all your appointments, all your show your activity for your business. You have to show intent, okay, and activity. Okay, really, really important. Okay, now something that I'm doing now that this is my second year doing this, is I work with an accountant where I have an app now on my phone. I pay them over $100 a month. So it's $1,200 at the end of the year that I paid my accountant to do my bookkeeping. But that covers my HST registration, so you have to pay them extra to do that. And that covers my filing income tax. I do not have to pay them extra at the end of the year to file my income tax. So what I do, it's called Receipt Bank. I'm just going to show you what it looks like on my phone. It's an app. Oh, you probably can't. Oh, no, you can't see it because I've got my thing. So for example, I registered with this app with my accounting firm. Every couple of days, I literally go to my app, take a picture of the receipt, send, picture, send, picture, send, picture, send. All my purchases, picture, send, picture, send. I print out all my invoices in the back office for my Neolife report. Copy, picture, send. They have all my receipts already. I've sent them all automatically. There's different categories. And if I'm not sure, if I think it's unclear, I actually put down what category I think it should go in, so that when they look at it, they go, oh yes, okay, we put that in that category. And they automatically do it for me. Okay, so it's up to you. If you, I would find out from your accountant, more and more accountants are using systems like this. Okay, now, is it worth the $100 a month? Maybe not in the beginning, but I would say once you get to director or greater, I would highly recommend it, because there's more receipts, there's more write-offs. You really want to make sure that your write-offs are maxed. Okay, Cindy, anything else? I know you're using that app as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and that took me a long time before I decided to do that, just because, yeah, at first you're thinking the money, but yeah, once you get to a certain level and you get busier, rather than spending hours, like it would be insane come closer to, I kept everything properly, but like you said, procrastination, because you're busy sharing your life, and you don't want to take that time away to sit and do bookkeeping. It is so worth it. Absolutely. But again, now you do have to be at a certain level, but you'll know when things just get too overwhelming for you with the
Mhm.
paperwork. But definitely try to keep up with your paperwork as much as you can, because
Yeah. Because I've had some senior managers and directors early in the business, like years ago, that actually stopped doing the business because that was something that they just didn't enjoy and they didn't feel it was worth it. And I thought, wow, like I thought, holy cow. And it wasn't something that I looked forward to every month. But now I so look forward to it because I'm generating way more income, and I like more money to be kept than to have to find a way to give it back to the government. Okay. Any questions to clarify on any of that? Wen, did that help you at all?
I have a question. You
Sure.
said something about level 3. Your accountant is a level 3, or you're at a
Yes.
level 3 in your business? What do
No.
you mean by that?
Yeah, it's called level 3 accountant, where there's different levels, I guess, in the accounting. I don't know how they call it, but he said that they can handle your audits, where some accountants don't handle audits.
Yeah,
You'd
this
have
is,
to,
yeah,
That would be
Hashem
really
is he himself is at that level 3. So he has a certain designation that he can do, as Nada said.
because that's a fear for a lot of people. Getting audited is like hours and hours, but because I've sent them everything and they have all the information electronically, they have everything. When I went and did a review with them, they pulled everything up on the screen and I saw all the categories. They showed me everything I've sent them, the category they put it in. I was in awe. I was like, wow, okay, now I get it. Like, it was the coolest thing ever. And they, in the odd receipt, they'd ask me and go, okay, can you clarify what this was for? Maybe twice in 2 years, they've asked me to clarify what a receipt was for. Everything else, they justified where that receipt would go.
I remember once you gave a talk, or you invited guests who were the accountants that you would eventually use, I believe,
Yes.
and they talked about all that. And I feel, and I wasn't doing the business in, so in one ear and out the other, because it
Yeah.
didn't mean anything to me, but I remember it, how impressive it was, and I thought, wow, that would probably cost you a fortune, but I don't think that $100 a month.
I personally don't think $100, especially because at the end of the year, I had to pay $300 or $400 for them to file my taxes,
Exactly.
As well.
right?
Yes.
And I think the reason why, it sounds like $1,200 sounds like a lot, but let me tell you, get audited is scary. To be unorganized is scary. To feel that uneasiness every month. And I used to get this pit in my stomach every January thinking, oh, I gotta go home. Now it's like,
Somebody
else is
yeah.
doing it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very
so-
stressful. And I think that was at the I think it was it the first
At a rally?
rally, and I think it was at
Rally and retreat.
yeah.
Hashem came to
I
the
think it was, yeah, I think he was at, because I know Josh was there, I think, as
Mhm.
well. Hashem got up and just shared a little bit.
And I think we went to your place afterwards, Cindy, and had the most wonderful potluck.
Yeah.
That was a
My
rally.
memory remembers things like that too.
Oh yeah, all the alcohol that Cindy purchased for that event when we all gathered at her house. So when we come to your house on the weekend, anything we purchase for that retreat, right, is a write-off. So just remember that you got to keep your receipts. You got to write on the date, what it was for, who was there, right? Cindy would keep a log of all the guests that came to her house that night, right? That's why she had a little sign-in sheet and things like that, just so that you can, if you ever get audited, boom, you've got all the stuff there to back it up. Okay.
You can write off the money that you spend, right, for the accounting, the 1,200.
Well, all that's right off. Yeah.
So it's
$1,200, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, $1,200 right off that you're
totally worth
spending.
it. Totally worth it.
Yeah, and you know how long it took me to get to that point? 28 years. Like I kick myself now. I was
Yeah, it
so
took me
afraid.
20 something years too.
I was so afraid to give somebody that control, right? I wanted that control. And even though I didn't like it, it was like afraid of giving somebody that control. And now I'm like, oh, and I can't remember, somebody did a talk on, maybe it was you, Joan, you shared somewhere, they shared, let the experts do what they're good at, right? And let them take that responsibility so that you're free to do what you need to do, share in your life with people, period, right? That should be our only job, is sharing and caring, right? Sharing the product, sharing the opportunity, and helping people achieve their goals. That's what we should be doing, not being back and you know, frustrated with paperwork. Any questions or any tips or anything at all? Like this is for you guys.
So Nada, I have a question.
Sure.
You go to an event. So because of COVID, we didn't go out. We did the business from homes, but eventually when everything opens up, you go for an event for Neolife and you have to buy a dress.
A
Can you write
dress?
off? Yeah.
No, I don't think clothing, no, but if you buy something that says Neolife on it for advertising and promotion, you can, but just an outfit, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
But-
can't write off hairdressers and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, but if you buy clothes as a gift, you
Mhm.
can.
Okay. Interesting.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Anything else?
Some of the products I write off would be beta-adjust and enzymes because you share it with other people.
Oh, yes.
Right? All those.
Aloe, I write off aloe, beta-adjust enzymes, vitamin C, protein shakes. Even acidophilus I give out to people every once in a while if they have, you know, just to give it a try to see if they can swallow it. I write off a lot of LDC and Super 10 because I'm always giving, even if I give a little sample, I write off that, you know, that bottle. So you can be very generous with the product that you're purchasing from Neolife, that you're under the consuming part. You can definitely write most of that off.
I write off, say I bought something. I'm trying to get somebody in the US and I buy something and send it to them.
Yes.
I just put a gift note, like, and then that will count.
Yep. All the write-off, all my little trophies and awards that I have for my team. You know, I know Cindy and I do little plaques and, you know, all of that is a write-off. So anything like majority of the money that you spend, majority, is because we are actively building a business every day. Okay. Your office is at home, right? You're talking to people constantly. When you're out and about, you're always connecting with people, trying to talk to people. So the write-offs are, it's not like your conventional home-based business. Okay.
Okay, I already have a list here of people I've given samples.
Awesome. Good. Yeah, don't be afraid. You can, there's a lot. I'm just trying to think of what else. Even detox kits, like I've given people to try. Oh, and Pro Vitality. Sometimes I'll give 2 or 3 packets to someone. That whole box I just write off, right? Because I can't sell that anymore. Once you've opened it and given some samples to somebody, that box is now for sampling. Okay. So yeah, you can really, there's so much, especially once you start building a bigger team, then definitely you're looking for more write-offs.
Something that I don't understand because I couldn't do it because I hadn't done my initial count, but I know that I've been told in my team that I should do an inventory at the beginning of the year and at the end of the year. And I'm not really clear what I'm doing that for.
All my other accountants said yes. This last accountant says, just give me your product bought and product sold and they'll deal with it. Don't worry about it. They work it out.
So you
So I
don't know
don't-
what they do with those numbers or, you know.
They know how to play with those numbers. I used to have a beginning and ending inventory. And then my other accountant that I used to use says that now I have to generate, that has to be in a category that shows income. And sometimes I have like $3,000 or $4,000 in inventory sitting here, and now it's going to be as an income. It didn't make sense to me. And then when I talked to our new accountant, there's like, no, that should not be in the income department. So all those years, I was showing that as income, and it's not income because I haven't sold it yet,
Mhm.
right? But they were showing that as income going into the next year. So anyways, my accountant has an awesome system where it's not shown as income, but it's going to go into, eventually I'm going to be selling it. It'll eventually be shown as a sale, but not at that point. So don't worry about it, as long as you have your total purchases and total sales. Or giving away a sample.
I think maybe it was Lynn and Heather actually had inventory that they would buy things for clients, but they're weaning their clients off that. They're getting them to do their own direct
Yeah.
ordering.
Yeah, but I still have inventory, but I don't keep, like I said, because it's already in that purchases, sales, right? And if it doesn't even out, they know that what's left, that's not showing as a sale, that's left and carrying over into the next year.
Yeah, and I
Oh, you're muted, Cindy. Cindy, you muted yourself.
just
Cindy,
muted myself. Okay, sorry. Excuse me. I used to do the same thing when I used to, yeah, product going into the new year and then product at the end. And I think they subtracted one from another or whatever. But yeah, now with the system that we're using, yeah, like Nata said, they don't request that at all.
mm-mm. No. And now, and you know, a lot of people like to use local accountants like that are local to you. Now with everything being electronic, like I don't have to go to, like I literally just scan like I say, take a picture and send, as long as I have all my hard copies. If they ever want, I have got my box of all my hard copies as a backup. If they ever want them, I can drop them off and mail them to them. But you know, you don't have to go there anymore. Everything's done electronically, even signing and even processing, everything's done electronically now. You don't even have to go to your accountant. I've done Zooms with him to go over stuff just to clarify in that, but that's what's so nice. If you know, if you don't have an accountant, then this is definitely a company that I recommend. Again, it took me a few years to build that trust, and I know Cindy, you've known
No,
them for years.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, yeah, even just, you know, I knew them many years before you, but still, yeah, same thing. I had to build a trust because, you know, it's your money. So, but I was going to say Sadie is in Jamaica now. She's moved to Jamaica, for those that don't know. She moved back home. But she's still continuing with her Neolife. She's got, you know, she's got people up here and everything, and she uses that company as well. So she's you know, she doesn't get them to do her bookkeeping at this point, but she, again, everything is just being sent like virtually.
Yeah, like if you have like a really good online QuickBooks and you're good at keeping your track of everything, then all you have to do is give the totals to him or to the accountant.
Yeah.
And they'll do your bookkeeping. If you like to do that, go for it, especially early in your business when you're not, you know, that big. But once you get bigger, if you're finding that you're not enjoying the bookkeeping, then I would highly recommend paying for this program. It's totally worth it. Lynn, remember when I spent hours with you and Don trying to get him to do your bookkeeping? Remember how frustrated he was and was like, oh, and I tried teaching him and I was like, oh.
Yeah, and I wouldn't even let, like Mike was, and I think it lasted one day for Mike to do our bookkeeping. He goes, no,
Oh,
it's yeah,
yeah.
not good for the relationship.
All right, so that's it for the bookkeeping, unless you guys want to clarify or any other points or tips or anything else you want to go over. Just remember just to keep track of everything, you know, write it down, have a record in your either on your phone for the calendar or in a day timer, just to, you know, have things recorded so that when you do go to write things off, you can justify that you're actively building a business. Okay.
Did you send out a link for tonight? I don't seem to have one.
Yep.
I guess
Yep.
I missed it.
I'll
It
send it
says
again.
October 31st, if that helps you find it in your dates.
It says October 31st.
Yeah, it was on the October 31st that I sent it. So that would have been Sunday.
Mhm.
I'm gonna
So-
stop.
No,
the
I don't have it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. And Cindy's